because it is very important, obviously I don't reduce my pen and my notepad so that I go fit also take lessons from wetin barrister will teach us today. Jokingly, Chief and I been talking this morning, but na actually the fact, and that na say ignorance of the law no be excuse. As a matter of fact, I think everything we do na im dey under the law. Trust me, every single thing wey we dey do, at least for a daily, na im dey under the law. So I no know, the law no go hear, e no concern them, because if you should know. Na the koko na be that na why we get a show like this wey be say they always create awareness. They always tell you guys one or two things, everything, as a matter of fact, from marriage to rape to which one we never treat under the law on top of the show. And guess what? Last week, Barrister and I been deal with sexual offenses and all of that, the legal side of sexual offenses and all of that. And guess what? Today we're starting something new. Something that is also going to benefit everybody when they watch the show this morning. They call me the slimmest of them all, guys. Good morning. Once again, Barrister is in the building. Obviously, legally ready to take you guys on a legal journey.
Now well done, no. Now well done. Now well done. Don't mind them, but they just abuse me here.
Oh, I don't understand. You were dancing to K1 not quite long. So I don't say Barrister self, they dance to songs like that.
No. This of Oshodi. When I hear the song, those are the songs where they take wake us for money.
Okay.
For that time, you know.
I saw you were digging it, Barrister.
Oh yeah. Àyìnlá sọ fún wọn wípé ọmọ rẹ̀.
Really? But anyways, you do more of that after the show if you want to. How are you doing, sir?
To God be the glory, and this is a good day for us to learn about one or two things.
Yep.
Today we are going to be talking about the legal side of religious practices. The legal side of religious practices. Many of us, majority of Nigerians, we are one way or the other very religious. Very religious because we always, have that side of us saying that we want to obey God and things like that. But one of the things that you have to know concerning that, and which has put so many people into trouble, probably you are the clergy, or you are the imam, or you are the pastor, or you are the luwo, or whatever, that's put a lot of people into challenges, is because of ignorance of the law. Somehow we always think that, it's an overriding thing. Not as much as you think. And that's why today we want to talk about the legal practices that you have to be mindful of that can make you go against the law. Now, first thing I want to say is that let us note that Nigeria is a secular state. What do I mean by that? Nigeria does not have a state religion. So we know, guys, Nigeria is not a Muslim country, it's not a Christian country, or it's not a traditionalist country. The law permits us in Nigeria to have a freedom of expression of our religious convictions. It also says that we have the freedom to move together. So really, there is no compulsion about which religion to belong to or where to go to. But what is important is that no matter where you belong, the law says that you must obey the law. You cannot use your religious conviction to inconvenience other people or to go against the law. So let's put that aside. So the first thing when it comes to issue of you and the law, legal side of religious practices, is that you must obey the law. Not write that down. Whether you're a pastor, you're a imam, wherever you are, or whether you are just a member of that church or member of that mosque, you must obey the law. Because this is very important that you should get it into your, because many people, you think that your connections, the membership of that group that you belong to, their connections can also make you to go against the law. And people have done this to their own detriment. That people are, some clergy, because they have in their crowd, they have a commissioner of police, they have big shots, they always assume or allude that for some reason, that means that, the law is on their side. Look, no individual, no matter how placed, is bigger than the law. So if, for instance, let's just imagine that you had a mago, the AFCC, chairman just about 2 weeks ago, in your congregation, as a member. That is indulging you does not mean that, now that probably he has been set aside. That means that those who want to, who have known all that you have done, they cannot come against you. So everything that you are doing must form within the pattern of law. Yes, if the law says that before you can do this, get your approval for your for your place. If the law says that don't open the church at a particular time, except you have
Just
gone
the
to.
way the old lockdown.
Yes. So don't say no, no, no. It's satanic or is that one? It's, yes, it might really, with the sense of your conviction, be satanic. But the point is that you have to understand that if you cannot challenge that law in the court and get it vacated, that law remains the law. It remains the law. So that's why. So watch your hobnobbing with those enforcement agents and things like that. Stop, taunting your connections and obey. I mean, always anyone, whether you're a member of a congregation or you are, look, know what the law says. Know what the law says, so that your clergy will not say that you go and do this, go and carry this, go and do this, and you say because Afa said it or because the daddy said it, you are going to do the wrong thing and you are caught. Number one, you are the one that's going to be the culprit, not even first culprit. First point of culprit is the you per se, before even they gone to your clergy that sent you. So as a member, you also have to open your eyes to ask questions. What is the law? Don't let your conviction, your belief make you step aside the issue of law. Number two, watch your emotions. Watch your emotions, please. Particularly for those of us, for instance, in almost all the regions, say that you should be kind to other people, you be nice to other people. Somebody comes to you and says, I'm a member of, I've seen it before. Congregation probably finish a salah prayer and you are going, and then all of you are trooping, and somebody comes and flags your car down and says that please lift me, and from here to that place. The normal tendency is that you're going to be, want to be kind. You're just coming from a place of worship. You're just going to be kind and to carry the person. The person might not have come for that event. You have to be very sure that you know what you're doing, because if as you go along, that your car is flagged down and you are asked to identify yourselves, you will identify yourself. But the man that is in your car, he probably is a wanted person or has something dangerous on his body or what have you. You can't explain. But for the fact that both of you are found together, becomes a nexus that has to be, investigated before, so that you can know whether there's any connection between both of you or not. I'll give you a lot of example. One clergy one time, was had a vigil, and then when they had a vigil, the next morning somebody came and said that he is a member of a robbery gang, and he wanted to stop being a robber. He was tired of being a robber, and he wanted to confess his sins. And then the clergy said, he helped pray with him and then asked him, is okay. And then afterwards, the young man was saying that, so sir, there's one more thing that I want to say, sir. The gun, I have gun using doing all these things I've been doing, and I want to surrender it right now. The man said he had never encountered such a problem before in his life. So such a request. So he was still cracking his brain what to do. Apparently, the young man was not very comfortable the way the clergyman was doing. So the young man just bolted away. But the next day, the clergyman had the vigil that same night. The next day, at about the same time, the police came around, knocked on his door with that young man, arrested him, and then they knocked and they were asking him that they knew that the boy came to that place yesterday, and they were there to come and ask what the role of the clergy in the armed robbery gang, because some of them have been killed, but this one is not been killed. So they want to know what the role of the clergyman said. Instantly, he felt like going to toilet. He felt like going to toilet because he was just a man that he met, a young man he met the previous day, had never known him before, and of course said that like joke, that matter got him to police headquarters at Enugu, and he was there almost throughout, in fact till night, when, because his wife is a lawyer, the wife also pulled strings and whatever before they could release him. When they were releasing him, one of the police officers who was there, who had been observing him, came and told him, look, I'm also a clergyman too, but you see, I just want to explain to you that you are being released tonight, not because of your wife, not because of anything. Why you are being released tonight is because after everything, you did not collect the gun. If you had collected that gun that boy was trying to give to you yesterday, if you had collected it, you would never have left this place. Never. And it's just a matter of...
Why? Because the blame would have been shifted.
Of course, now. So why are you in possession of a gun? I mean, that means you're a custodian of... You are a kind of custodian of a gun. And many people have done out of emotion. So when it comes to religious practices, please be guided with the emotion. Somebody said, let me sleep in your house. For you don't know the person. You say, that's how they say, that's how the Holy Book says we should do it. Be careful. Nobody says you should go against the Holy Book. But just know that in case anything happens to that person, you are the primary suspect. You cannot explain yourself later and whatever. So you put, another clergyman whose wife was always a clergyman had a woman whose husband was always beating her. And this clergyman, each time the woman was beaten, she would run to the clergyman. The clergyman would counsel, return her home to her husband, counsel. In the course of time, the woman got pregnant for her husband, but the beating never abated. So, but her succor, her place of comfort was always the clergyman's place. So you run there. So one of this evening, the clergyman the woman was beaten seriously by her husband again, and the woman ran to the clergyman's house. And the clergyman said, okay, look, it's too late. I can't take you back tonight. But just wait. Tomorrow morning, I will see what we can do, and then go and whatever. Of course, the woman had complications that night and died in the clergyman's house. The question is your house a refuge center? Is your house a refuge center? So when these emotions are put into these issues, you have to be very careful. Orphanages, you are saying I want to help orphans and what have you. Have you registered the orphanage? Have you put in place things that you have to do? You are keeping somebody was saying one clergyman when people will come and say, please daddy, the place is your compound is large enough, let's put a car, and he was allowing them because these were good members of his congregation, unknown to them that some of the cars were stolen cars. So one of the days they had a tracker that tracked them to the car. Immediately he called those people brother, this car that the police people are around there, those ones did not show face again. So it was the clergyman and the police and explain how the car got into the compound. So you have to understand, when you are defending people, when you are looking like you are the one to the defender, Voltron, you are defending people. No, you cannot do it, and then you're fighting cause that you are not even very sure of. Emotions, so that you don't get yourself into trouble. Number 3, watch your convictions. Watch your conviction. Watch the convictions you have. Sometimes your doctrines, your belief system, what you believe, those things that are activating you, you have to watch it very well so that they don't put you into trouble. Yes, your conviction, you have the right to hold it. But when it starts tilting dangerously into becoming like wicked to other people or mean to other people or necessarily intolerant of other people, then there's a challenge that you're going to run into murky waters because of your conviction and things like that.
Okay, so I think talking about conviction, we are convinced at this moment that we need to go for a quick break. Now, when we come back, I know you guys are eager to call. You're eager to ask questions. Because even me, I get a couple of questions already where I got asked Barrister this morning. We'll be right back. Definitely stick around.
Our people they talk say ignorance of the law. No be excuse.
If my name is for property, my child don't fit take that thing.
But I get one question. Now, if person die now and he puts his wife or he puts any of his relative as next.
Ignorance of the law no be excuse oh. That's now why we get one ogbonge program where we dey call Legal Matta on top WAP TV. You fit interact with us on top the show or talk to Barrister Vincent through we phone numbers wey be 08173147589 and 08105434984. You still fit call us on top with Skype ID wey be WAP TV.
Trust me, when we go on that break, it can't be like saying HOP versus Barrister because he said, because he said don't get his own question. Truly, it is very, very confusing. That's the word. It is very, very confusing. You want help, but then at the end of the day, you're also trying to be safe. We are trying to make sure that, okay, you don't go against the law. Now, you get people where they look up to you. You get people where they say, okay, they find your place as a refuge center, maybe because of the position where they hold for the society. But at the end of the day, they say we need to learn how to balance our emotions because emotions and law are two different things. All right. We don't talk about the legal side of religious practices before we go on that break. And of course, Barrister been mentioned some three salient points. First off, okay, I wrote two anyways. Watch your emotions and then watch your convictions.
And then watch the law. First, watch the law. Watch your
emotions and then your convictions. Anyways, let me open the phone line straight up so that we'll begin to take calls and contributions. 08105434984 and of course 08173147589. Please help us turn down your TV volume so that we can get as many calls as we can. And of course, feel free to Skype with us. You can see our Skype ID. Just search for WAP TV on Skype, and guess what? We'll be able to see you live from here in the studio. So, Barrister, before we go on that break, because truly, most like it also say Nigeria and I want people to say, get a particular religion. You have the freedom to worship anything as well, whatever it is where you believe in. You have that liberty to do or to worship. Now, how our clergymen fit take balance their relationship with their congregations without breaking the law? Because now I will use the example of the man where you give, the example of that clergyman where you give about where there's a woman, a particular man where they always calm down. Anytime where the man beat them, he go calm down, all of that. Now in that kind of situation, obviously she don't feel say, this now my safety, this now place I can get refuge. Do you understand? This is like the only place I can run to if this man don't deal with me. In that kind of situation, please, what was this supposed to do? Was it supposed to send her back to her husband's house, or because at the end of the day, I feel say waiting for still happen. Maybe should have still died.
I agree
Either
with
ways.
I agree with you. Seriously, for such instance, the moment the pastor noticed abuse of physical violence and physical abuse, one thing that the pastor could do was just to also let that thing be incidented with the appropriate authorities.
Okay, so don't report it. See, we got John from Lagos. Hello, John.
John.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, John.
Yes, I'm actually enjoying your program.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And the law, kudos to you for the way you are dissecting the law.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yes, I'm actually gaining a lot from this, the law matters.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you.
There are so many things that I think that somebody can easily do without, just from self-will, not knowing that you can put yourself.
It will implicate you,
I agree.
Yes. All right, but I have a question.
Yes.
And that question has been bothering my mind since this morning when I saw your matter on religious settings.
Okay.
The question is, in case you are walking along the road, we have three major religions in Nigeria, the Christian, the Islam, and the traditional.
Yeah.
And they are having their masquerade festival on the road. And mistakenly, you are beaten by the masquerade. Is there a law that backs it up?
Oh yes. In fact, it's a good law because now a masquerade that's why I said you have to watch it. A masquerade that beats you, you can appropriately report that the guild or probably the order of that masquerade, because they usually have a place they come out from, and what have you. And there are even instances where masquerade too have been beaten because they beat somebody and things like that. So it's coming to that level, but just that sometimes it's also a dangerous approach to take because there could be a lot of levels of spiritualities involved. So it is something that either you avoid it, but if the way it is now, unlike in the time past, John, many masquerades are very self-respecting. They are very respecting now, unlike before, when everybody just take it like it's our festival. We can do anything. They usually are very self-respecting you. They don't beat you anyhow. They don't do anything because instances now that people don't even know. If you beat me, I mean, soldiers have seen video where soldiers had matched.
So a particular video
had matched. So it's a given that you can sue that order. You can sue that. You can even get policemen to go and arrest them if it's possible. The policemen will follow you. But gone are the days when impunity can be taken by such masquerades, or even by church, by mosque. Gone are the days. You know, right now, churches who are making on speakers or public address systems are making too much noise. In the time past, they are accommodated, but right now, people are bold enough to go and even call the government authorities to come and tell them that look, you have to put down their noise, and orders have been made to do that. So it's no longer as usual, because really people are living in the past in terms of the understanding of this issue.
Okay, let's take Christopher. Yeah. Hello, Christopher. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, dear. Good to have you. Please go on.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to contribute to the show. I was tuning my TV. I don't know about the program before. I mistakenly.
Oh, you're just watching us for the first time. Good to have you.
Yes. And I was wowed with the was breaking down issues. And I think I am going to watch this program every day because it's very, very interesting.
Thank you. As a matter of fact, join us from 7.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
So I would like him to finish the issue about the lady that came to.
Okay. Yes, my question.
Yes, the lady that came to find shelter in the.
Yes, you will finish it.
The pastor's house.
All right, you.
Because such issues are, sometimes I'm that kind of person. Like I like to give help to people, and when I listen to what he was saying, I was moved and I was happy. Like he's really breaking things down, and I would like him to finish up.
Okay.
Yes.
Let him do that.
Yeah.
That was actually
he said, because you see what happened in that instance was that the woman died. I mean, it was a front page newspaper report because the woman died. So what was there is that pregnant woman dies in clergy house. Pregnant woman dies in clergy house. So or dies in pregnant in a clergy house. So the point then becomes like, what was were you a rescue center?
Because that's what I'm asking. That. So how does he balance that?
Were you a rescue center? You should not have gone. I mean, that's why many people. Sometimes you have to get the understanding that yes, your emotion has a good element of you or should be a part of you, but also there's a legal aspect, because I've thought that there's a legal aspect of your emotion that you have to be very considerate of to know that, look, what I'm about to do, does it enhance me, or does it
can it destroy
me? Because that was happened. And how does a pastor explain? Because like I was explaining to them in the studio here now, whether you want to explain it off or not, you must take time to do it. You must take time.
It's not going to be immediate.
You have to explain now that the woman was here. You don't do anything to her. You don't know anything about it. You have to get your lawyer. You have to get all those things.
And if you're not careful, the man can actually deny the fact that that's the husband now. Deny beating the woman. And just put the whole blame on you.
Definitely. Because one of the reasons why, from that story, that the woman was having problem with her husband was because even a change of religion. So that was even one of the basis of the fights, the arguments, and things like that. So you can imagine. So this time that this is where you're going to, and so you have to be very careful. Somebody has one day I was to enter a praying place. And the praying place, they told me, I just wanted to have a quiet time in that praying place. And, I saw the place and I was about to, and then the security guards there told me that I could not enter, that I had to, whatever I wanted to do, I just do outside and they were looking at me. I was quite embarrassed. So I just left in
But they had their reasons.
Of course, it was later I got to know, not even from that particular praying place, because later in another praying place, the praying place was left open and this man ran into the praying place and started shouting, they're after me, they're after me. Was that shout he made? And then slumped on the floor. And then he died.
Rosemary, good morning from Abuja.
Good morning.
My lord, please go on.
I want to ask a question.
Go on. Go ahead, please.
What if a woman had...
Rose, go on, Not much time again.
So the woman slumped And right on the pages of the newspaper, the clergyman was saying, "I can swear by Almighty God, I have no hand in this." Of course, because the man slumped eventually in an open place that is yours. So these are all the things that you have to be saying. That.
But then, anyways, oh God, time. I wanted to ask now. The place was open, barrister. There was nobody in particular that would have stopped him from entering. I was not there to have told him to enter either.
That's why. Why
do you have to blame me on that?
That's why you can imagine that girl that was raped in a church in Benin City. One of the pastor of the place will have to be first responsible. Why was the place open in the first instance? These are all
supposed to be closed. First, we are going to start from this next week because I have my reservations on what you just said. I didn't force you to enter.
But you should have let it in a way
closed.
All right.
And then what if he slept in front of it? And then the person died.
Maybe we'll come to that later.
There's so many things. There are so many things surrounding it. But anyways, we're supposed to talk about your book.
Yeah, my books.
We'll do it
but next
week.
We'll talk about it.
Yes. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be here again next week.